Vinícius Jr. to Arsenal. Allegedly, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, and it's looking like it's not going to happen. I big up you lot who believed that was going to be the case. AS Roma have been linked with Martinelli. Is still in Berta we trust. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. So, based on those things I just said there, how are we feeling about the transfer market? How are we feeling about Andrea Berta? How are we feeling that now the World Cup's over? We're approaching August. Obviously, people, happy new month in advance if this is the first and last time prior to that we see each other. You know, we've even got a pre-season fixture on Saturday in which we'll be doing a watch along. So the business end starts. How are we feeling? I know how I'm feeling. And the first thing is, let's mute that phone of mine. And Jurian Timbers allegedly left our training camp in Spain as well, folks. So, yeah, man, we really are getting into Arsenal mode. Are we sure, despite the fact that we won the Premier League title? Are we sure, Vinny? Come on, sign for us, man. Look at that. But are we sure, despite the fact that we won the Premier League title, we're ready for the season to start? I don't know. We're gonna get into all of that in a minute. But as usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Hope you lot around the world are all blessed. Sadiq, big up the champions, as you said. Tyrone, what are you saying? Hi, right back at you. Now are you, bro? Arsenal, we need. I think you mean how are you? I'm good, my boy. Arsenal need to hurry up. Seriously, I mean we do need to get a move on. We do. Good evening, DG. Hope you and your family are all well. Extend that to you lot. Is there a reason why Bruno G isn't done? Is it over the price that has been set by Newcastle, or is it more complicated than that? Same with Isaac. Truthfully, I wish I had the answers. Because some of you ask me questions I can't answer. I'm like, you lot clueless. There's probably isms and schisms now. You got to be careful of reading into news in it, because what's going on, as we always say, what's going on in the real world of football and what's actually happening in the real world of football are two different things. So, you know, you would have, if that was the case, we would have had Morgan Rogers. Then obviously Chelsea have come out of nowhere. We don't know what's going on. Based on just reports, even though, well, to be fair, 1 minute you hear there's no official bids, then there are official bids. But from what I read with you lot and all of those things, I do think we're going to get Bruno Kamara. Now, if we don't call, I look silly. I do think we're going to get over the line with that, and which is quite shocking, because maybe it's because, you know, when it comes to these household names and high profiles and stars and whatnot, don't get it twisted. I want them at Arsenal. I like the fact that we're linked with Vinny, but it's either you know, these players, you're kind of reliant on these players to go. You have to put the P's down, or do you find these guys like Vinícius and Rodrigo, two Brazilian wingers that we've been linked with in the last 2 years. Real Madrid bought them as soon as they probably played their first match in Brazil. So is that something? Now I look at the market right now. Of course, X Factor, Stardust. We just won the league, got Champions League final. We need level raisers, you know, big money, etc., etc. I'd rather us just go and find these stars before they have them breakout seasons, because that's what we used to do. Scouts do their jobs. So Liverpool signed Mo Salah. Obviously, we know what Salah went on to do, but no one could have saw that. Can we go and do that? That's just where I'm at with it now. And to be fair, I'm naturally quite pessimistic on the stars. As I've said before, I didn't think we'd get Aubameyang, Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, even Santiago Cazorla, Aubameyang, if I haven't made that clear, Declan Rice, Caicedo, obviously all but one eventually signed for Arsenal. But at this moment in time, you know, as I said, I do think we're going to get Bruno. I'm just an armchair expert, but I looked at the Bruno thing. It comes down to the money. We can like him, he can like us. Put the money down. If not, let's just move on and find the same kind of profile. That's not going to come with that. So there was that. Obviously, Liverpool are laying the groundwork to Bacola, a man that was linked with us. So yeah, we're second choice there. Primarily, before this Vinícius Jr. stuff, we were linked with a South American in Julian Alvarez, but his choice is Barcelona. Again, I've never had a conversation with Vinícius. Depending on where you read up until this current day, there's all different kind of things being reported. But I do think he wants to stay at Real Madrid. I just think he wants to know where he fares in the whole Mbappe versus him. Obviously, you're 26, so it's an important contract. And it just feels like I like the ambition and I like the game plan, but it feels like with some of these names, we're relying on certain dominoes to fall, like Julian Alvarez. Atletico Madrid say we're not selling to Barca. Barca walk away. He still wants to leave. We can intercept that. Morgan Rogers, we played a dangerous game. Obviously got burned. Vinícius Jr. You're waiting for some breaking news that Vinícius and Real Madrid is no more, and then we could take advantage. So I don't know, man. But as long as the window closes and we've addressed the evident areas, cool. It might not be these superstar names that you would sign in FIFA and Football Manager. As long as I feel we've added to the depth and added to the starting 11, let's go on and try win this league again, innit? Really and truly. So, yeah. And if you're Newcastle, naturally, Bruno's a household name. Everyone in the Prem's got money. You've sold some big players. You don't want your captain and everything what Bruno means to Newcastle and Newcastle thing for him. You've got to make them an offer that is too good to turn down. So we'll have to see how it all works out, man. Rashford coming through. I like Rashford, but like that just tells me we're not serious, if I'm honest, man. Because the same logic and rhetoric and conversations we have around Marcus Rashford, and I like him, we already have about with existing players. Where apparently we are due to sign a centre back, which isn't the best news when we have no offer, big signings done with pre-season days. Where I understand we want stars, but if you bring a centre half, I'm happy, because for me, as a minimum, you need another defender to cope with Saliba. And actually, because again, Saliba's become kind of the talking point with him breaking down. We're gonna get into it, and this guy's become the talking point. But you've got Saliba out, Magalhaes having to play a dangerous game. Right back, Ben White and Timber. We all know how their fitness is. So I think you need a versatile defender, or let's just say a defensive body. Clearly, I want a central midfielder. I think every Arsenal fan knows this left wing stuff has gone on for far too long. So we need a left wing. I'll big up Zolis. I know he's at the club. I think those are the essentials. I would like a striker. I don't think it's essential. If you go and get me Krupi, Alvarez, I'd want that, of course. But they're the other areas I think needed to be addressed. DG, you knew he wasn't coming, bro. Again, it's not over to the fat lady sings, but I weren't one of them guys, man. Big up DG. Arsenal struggle. Watch the facts for top four. I hear that, man. We hear this, and you're an Arsenal fan, maybe, but we hear this bullshit all the time. Everyone's going to improve. We're not going to improve. It's not sustainable. We're going to drop out the top four. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's just down to us to prove you lot wrong. But all right, cool. Okay. Noosa and Kone probably be our signings. 50, 60 million euros, I'd take a punt on Noosa or a gamble. Kone, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, I'd be a bit disappointed to go from Bruno Guimaraes to him, but I think he's a decent player. And I think when that dust kind of settles, I think people would love him, man. Yo, Joseph, big up yourself, Ryan. And then said, until I see it in writing that Vin Laden, oh my God, signs a new contract, I'll believe it can happen. Big up you lot. I want to be wrong, crazy, you know. All of you lot, I want to be wrong. Oh, you didn't believe in Vinícius. Do I think we could pitch a project? Do I think the finances, all of that, great? But even when you read the initial report by David Ornstein, a lot of people are dyslexic because they're getting excited off the headline. Arsenal are interested. You read the fine print, the only thing you could have real optimism about is everybody at Arsenal would like to get this deal done. It never said nothing else. Now, we're just going to have to see how these contract things play out. And obviously, the season's starting. You've got just over a month. But you're going to have to play a patient game. You're going to have to play a patient game if there is a chance to get Vinícius. You're going to have to play a patient game if you were to get Julian Alvarez. But Cola seems like one that's going to take Liverpool, quote unquote, forever. So I'll always believe, but I'm not on this, if I'm completely honest. I'm not on this believing thing now. Of course, I want them. Scouts, do your jobs. Like, just go and do your jobs. We need to find these emerging talents because that's what the market is come down to. Now, I want to wake up and see, all right, Vinícius is adamant he wants to leave. Arsenal at the front of the queue. We won't be alone in our pursuit of him. I'm all for it. Feel like this Vinny thing is the usual get agent to spread transfer rumors so he can get a new contract. Could be. Newcastle want close to 100 million. That's what I've heard from their end. Why wouldn't you? You'd want that. He's a key player to us. We lose Bruno on top of everything else we've lost. It's going to make our job of whatever we're trying to do next season. They're going to try and run it up. They're going to try and run it up. And obviously, Arsenal have to overpay a bit for Guimaraes, but there has to be a hard line where we say, do you know what? This ain't feasible. Now, I hope that's not the case, but I don't know. Is that 65? Is that 75? Is that 85? Is that 90? What is the figure that Arsenal say, you know what? This cannot be done. Like what Rice said, it's not done yet. Until he signs the deal at Real Madrid, it ain't over. Big up you lot, man. Berta Outlet said that. Big up you lot, man. Big up you lot, AJ. Appreciate you. Look how long it took to confirm both Rice and Gyökeres just believe, no, man. Bro, Gyökeres, there was direct conversations, though. Rice, there was direct conversations. If you remember that year we bought Rice, in January, we was linked with Caicedo. David Ornstein was saying we're going to get Rice. The talking points are done, etc., etc. There ain't really nothing with Vinny. So I hope so. My thing is dream, believe. But if God forbid, in an ideal world, we get Vinny. We're waffling about what it could be. Sad one, okay, we're feeling sorry. What now? Like, because there's some fans that are just, not saying you, but some fans are just happy to pursue Vinícius Jr., which is great. But once the window closes, at this moment in time, you've got Zolis, got all the belief in him, but I don't know what you're going to bring. Martinelli, we already know what you could do. Eze is probably one that can play out wide, and then there's probably some left field choices. I need to see evidence, man. Vinny or not, Arsenal are winning the league this season, and we have to defend it regardless. Whether we make all the great signings in the world or none, we have to defend this thing, and people have to deal with it. All that hate going around will only make success even better. Chelsea and Spurs will finish about Arsenal, and it won't be a pretty season. You see what happens when you waffle? You're not even making sense, but I'll hold you to it. Chelsea should be fighting for a league title. How much did Morgan Rogers cost? How much did Caicedo cost? How much did Enzo cost? You're bringing in proven winners in Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson, experienced players, two players who have won the Premier League. They were in the title challenge last year when they beat us 1-1. So I expect nothing less. Spurs, obviously, 85 million on Fernandes. Tonali was 100 mil. Bring it on. I'll take your word for it, my boy. Ain't no way the man them are really believing the Vini stuff. Morgan was not worth it at all. Look at what City paid for Semenyo. United got used for Tchouaméni new deal. I feel Arsenal are getting used for Vini new deal. Could be, but are we the club to be using? Because we're not exactly flushing you out with wages. Big up yourself, 876, man. Close to lunchtime when he's live. Vinny not done. Only Sky reporting he's staying at Real Madrid. Don't get twisted. Until my man has signed a new deal, anything can happen. There's conflicting reports. He's going to join Arsenal. He's not. He's signing a new deal. Nobody knows anything, really. But that's why, if we had a bid accepted or rejected and there's official talks and David Ornstein says negotiations, I still wouldn't get excited. But I could feed more fuel to the fire. I think it's just you lot are enticed, and rightly so. You want Vinícius Jr. that you're actually not sticking to what has actually been said. Slightly off topic, what do you think of Welbeck signing for Chelsea? Should Arsenal have gone for Welbs? I would have had Welbs. It sends out the wrong message, but he could still do a thing. I think they need him. You can laugh and all of those things, but Chelsea dressing room is a circus. Danny Welbeck and Henderson are proven winners, experience. They're probably just there to set the standards. It's not the same, but when I saw the Henderson one, that just screamed Jorginho to me, like them kind of signings there. I don't expect Welbs will play a lot more. You could argue Welbs is Chelsea's best striker. For a year, I don't know about his 2-year deal, but for a year, I could see why you would run it. But yeah. There's a smidge of hope for Vini, but realistically, the stars would need to align. I personally like Nusa. Gives dribbling, take-ons, and pace. Just needs to improve GA output. So if we don't get Vini, Bukola to Liverpool at present, so with the winger market, what are we going to do? We're going to move Saka to the left wing and get a new right winger. Bro, they're going to make it happen. If Vini is a killer or winner and has ambition, he will join Arsenal. It's the only way he would ever win a Ballon d'Or and win the best in the world argument. A Prem and a champs with us, guaranteed him. I hear it, but he's at Real Madrid. He's at Real Madrid. The ambition thing, it don't go so far, man. I mean, if the Brazilian dons can get him to link, I'm here for it, man. So if he wants to stay at Madrid, he ain't got that Omri, Ibrahimovic mentality, etc. Man want legend mentality at the Emirates. I just want fucking good players now. I can't lie. I like the illusion of Vini, but when it's them kind of stars, like for me, you got to find Julian Alvarez when he's at River Plate. You got to find Vini when he's at Flamengo. You got to find Salah when he's at Roma off the back of being called a Chelsea flop and etc. 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 Rice was confirmed for time. We're just waiting for money to transfer accounts. I said he's moist if he stays at Madrid. Gypsy badness. Gyökeres was through the door for time. After a man leaves his girlfriend, we're signing him after all of that. In the words of Jollof Rice, it's not done. I hope so, man. We need Bruno to put pressure on Newcastle. If an offer of over 80 M's is made, the league is ours next year regardless. Zolis has looked sharp in training so far. Vinny's option is to be a prince in Madrid or be a king at Arsenal. Both valid options. We'll see how it goes. Exactly. Like, that is what Arsenal have in their ironically, in their Arsenal. You're not going to get Real Madrid wages, but we're going to pay you handsomely. Well, you're probably going to be on more of a base salary. We're prepared allegedly to shatter our wage structure. You're going to be in London, which is to people that are not from London. That's a big thing. Obviously, in Europe, I think we get a lot more respect on our project and our manager and our players than we do in this country because it's less agendas. So there's obviously that. Evidently, like you said there, you'd be the prince in it. I know Saka's there, but Vinny and Saka will toe the line versus Mbappe and Vinny. So I understand it. Me personally, I think he wants to stay at Real Madrid because you got to remember, he's 26 now. He's been there his whole life. Of course, there's that option of this is a good opportunity to take another experience at another league. But I think he wants to stay. I just think he wants to know, am I going to be as much of a top dog as Kylian Mbappe, in which you're probably not going to get whatever they're paying Mbappe. And if you were to sign a new deal, you're not going to probably get that. It feels like Mbappe is growing in stature at Real Madrid, if that kind of makes sense to you lot. So it don't really look good for you in that regards. But I think he just wants to know where he stands, if I'm honest. It's very different. If Real Madrid came out and said, we are selling you, it's not the same, but it's like when Mesut Ozil left, or Alexis at Barca, that's very different. We haven't seen that. All the language that comes out, and granted, language isn't realistic, but Jose wants to keep him. They want to keep all of their stars. And to be honest, if you're Real Madrid, obviously the contract thing, and it's been there for about a year, to have Vinícius, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, this one, that one, and the third, why would you want to do why would you want to do something else? I'd go and sign Tommy again. Would never see him in an Arsenal shirt, man. Back from my Champions vacation. I'm back. I don't appreciate the video title when it's not conclusive yet that it's an impossibility. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? The world don't revolve around you. You're gonna have to come up the channel or cry somewhere. I can't help you. DG, we were never getting Vinny. Let's be honest. Yildiz is the guy. Absolutely brilliant player. Make Juventus a big offer. Young as well. Love him. And to be fair, the Athletic said we inquired about it, and we were told no by Juventus. Now it's very different. That inquiry stuff is what I should say. That inquiry stuff is intriguing to me because clearly We talk with third parties, and what I mean by that is like there's Joe Blogs there. He plays for, I don't know, ABC United. We like him. We start chatting to his agent. We're filtering his level of it. Like, do you want to move to Arsenal? Do you want to live in London? What would the wages look like at some point? All that kind of stuff. Along the lines, obviously, Arteta would then have some level of conversation with the player, how they tie in indirectly, whether it's agent to agent. What would a transfer fee look like? That's what I think we do. We never saw that with Yildiz. So is it a thing where Juventus were just so hard line on their approach? You're not having him. We said save, or did we put the feelers out to Yildiz and he weren't on it for whatever reason? You just never know. But I do think it's quite interesting. We found Zolis at Club Brugge, but people are still complaining you can't please this fan base. You can't please football fans, man. This Sky Report news is like Van Persie, which they said Van Persie will stay with Arsenal after 1 month. He'll go F his snake. Either way, we're knocking on Europe's door. That's the chart this season. I'm here for it, man. If you don't see Kroenke with Jay-Z, it ain't happening. I'm not sure on that one. Big up, DJ. I think we should forget the Vini thing. It's another player wasting our time. Get Mika Gotts. I don't know for him physically, but he's a quality player, man. Or Newsom, we move on to the centre-back role. It's over, fam. These men are coping. As Manny has said, smash their likes. Juventus are signing the Bosnian left winger who we were apparently linked with and we're big admirers of. So you are seeing a lot of guys that Arsenal have been linked with, or we've got, you know, some admiration for, like Rodgers, Bukola, just Bosnian youth, Juventus. They're going left field. Like the only shock I haven't seen is us linked with Rodrigo, and we know why, because the man's nursing his way back to full health. I was gassed on the day, B-Day, after we knew what time it was never. If contract talks with Real Madrid break down, we need to jump on. Genuinely think we can offer a decent package for him. It's true, but at what point? Because everything's on the table. You could say Juventus are going to take the strong arm. Sorry, Real Madrid are going to take the strong arm approach and say, for argument's sake, August the 1st, if you ain't signed this new deal, you're cutting, which obviously would help us. We can throw our name into the ring. They might actually be and they might be so far from an agreement that could be a rally. They might be close. It might just need an I dotted and a T crossed, because we actually don't know what's going on. They might actually have a willingness to run his contract going in. How many times have you seen someone run their contract down and leave, or somebody go into a season where come January, people could talk to you for free and you sign an extension? So we don't know. And at some point, we've got to move on. At some point. Because what happens if you get to the 31st of August, believing you're in a chance with Vinícius, scripts get flipped. We flip the script on players all the time. People just need to read between the lines. It's not unique to Arsenal, but we always hear, you know, Andrea Berta, he talks to several camps and several targets in a certain position, and then we kind of play the field. So let's just assume we spoke to 5 different left wingers. Within reason, we're only going to sign one. So we're wasting their time, if that makes sense. Like the other 4 are going to be left done dirty. That happens to us. We do that to people. This is what football's about. Until I's are dotted and T's are crossed, you've got a chance, but you always need to be able to move in several directions. Vinny plays left wing, Elise plays right wing. If people are talking about Vinny using us as a contract negotiation bargaining chip, Yildiz is proven to have used us and Chelsea to get a higher wages in his contract extension with Juventus. Good point. Very good point. Zolis, Gotts, Nusa is good balance, in my opinion. Real talk. No pun intended. I think you'll end up with Rashi or Savinho. I'd rather go for Savinho, man. There's more upside and less wages. There's a left winger in Turkey called Trossard, 20 goal involvements last season. Bro, this window is pissing me off. I can't lie, Berta we trust. Obviously, if we sign someone, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to go through all the emotions depending on how we feel as Arsenal fans on that particular day. And Lord knows, it's the 29th of July. We've already been through a lot in the transfer market. But I'll reserve the right to at least, I wouldn't even say back the club. The club you have until the window's closed. When the window's closed, then there's things. Of course, I could be mad that ultimately it took too long to get the Rodgers deal done. Chelsea came in with some stupid offer. Rightly so, we're not trying to match that, etc., 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 etc. Man, should we hijack Bukola? I mean, throw your name into the ring. But logically speaking, Liverpool have been on Bukola for a year. We were told we were told we want Rodgers and Bukola regardless. Then it was Rodgers the first target. If Liverpool have been chasing for a year, obviously they're a big club. You're more feeling wanted over there. Now, of course, the French ties, London, people can get hijacked, innit? Yes, Arsenal's chasing him. That's it. I'd love Krupi from Bournemouth, man. I feel like he's trying to, him and his agents, based on the rhetoric and the big up forwards, by the way, that comes out, I think he's trying to get a cheeky move to Barcelona. Easier said than done. We know Bournemouth are playing hardball. So, yeah, I wouldn't be against us trying to raid Crystal Palace for Sarr. It's a no from me. DG, would you be satisfied if we don't get a left winger and only have Glock and Kai as the strikers with Super Submarino? No. Because then I'm gonna probably put some unrealistic expectations on Zolis, really, which I don't think is fair. No, because I don't think we've improved. If that's the case, do you Vinny want to play with Rodri after the drama? What drama? I'd rather us just keep Martinelli and Zolis if we can't get a generational talent. What's the point? We don't need much to retain. It's one thing getting there, it's another thing staying there. Stay humble, man. Less than 4 weeks until the league starts. DG stinks of Rashford on loan. I'm the only one not convinced Krupi is ready. I feel he won't suit playing for a big club tactically. You're going to be in for a big surprise. We are going to do a watch along for Girona on Saturday. What's going on with Krupi? Any chance of what's going for him? Radio silence. If we can't get Vini, Real Madrid can't get Rodri. Go hydrate Rodri. You know yourself that's a myth. Like, it sounds good, but you know that's a myth. Barca got more chance of stealing Rodri from Real Madrid than us. It don't make sense for Rodri to stay in this country. Of course, I would love Rodri, and I don't need to explain to you the things that we could positively pitch to Rodri, but you've achieved everything. Go play for your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids. Like, is what it is. And to be fair, Rodri leaving Manchester City, don't get it twisted. They get Bawardi, they've got Elliot Anderson. They're still the guys. They're still good, but Rodri's a world-class player, best in his position. You lot called me a madman when I was saying Rice is the only one that's second. Right? He's the only one I have above Rice. Now, after the World Cup, you're seeing what's going on. You lose that kind of talent. And to go with Pep Guardiola, you've gone from being a generational team in the periods that they've been winning the leagues and stuff, and not specific years, to it's just free game, man. But yeah, should we see what's going on in the tabloids, people? Keep your conversations coming. First thing, unfortunately, we do have to discuss. Timber leaves Arsenal camp over groin issue. Jurien Timber travelled back to London from Arsenal's training camp in Spain in a move related to the groin injury that caused him to miss the end of last season. The Netherlands international missed 2 months towards the end of last season because of an ankle injury, but returned in time for the Champions League final loss to PSG. However, a groin issue then caused him to miss the World Cup. It's now understood that the right back has returned to London from the Gunners training camp in Spain, but sources insist the visit is part of his rehab schedule and not because of a setback in his recovery. Timber is expected to return to Spain to rejoin the squad. Timber, the Gunners' first choice right back, played 30 Premier League games as they won the title. I mean, since you bust your ankle and had that ACL injury, we've just straight up like, you're playing every week, innit? What a signing he's been, but we need to wrap him in cotton wool. Big up Tomiyasu. Apparently, Crystal Palace have had him on trial and they're holding talks with Tomiyasu. Anyone on re-signing him? I'm not. I think it's too sentimental. Now, Vinícius Jr. In your heart, not anything else. Do you think Arsenal are going to sign Vinícius Jr? Just comment a yes and a no. No explanations. Just a yes or a no. Or in fact, comment. We can actually, engage with the audience. Will Arsenal sign Vini Jr? Just a simple yes and no, people. Simple yes and no. Simple yes and no. Run up the likes. Big up yourselves. We got yeses. We got yeses. Oh, well, keep going. Let me go to the top. We got yes, we'll get Vinny. No, yes. Yes, no. Fuck yeah. No, it's smoke. Yeah. No. So keep them coming. But yeah, depending on where you're at and where you want to read and all of these kind of things, you will pick your poison or pick your copium. Vinícius Jr. to Arsenal saga not over yet. He's not made a decision on his future yet. Arsenal are still pursuing the Real Madrid winger, says Izan Khan. I mean, as long as you've got a chance. Gary Cottrell, Sky Sports, has said, Vini Jr. will be staying at Real Madrid beyond this summer. Sky Sports News has been told. Real have no intention of selling him and are confident he will sign a new contract despite interest from Arsenal. What was this? What's this? Team News and Tick said, I've been aware of Arsenal's interest in Vinícius Jr. since January. Back in January, Arsenal were looking at the top 1% of the. We're looking at the top 1% of the 1% of the. Bro, I'm even like I can't read. Arsenal were looking at the top 1% of the top 1%. That mode of player. The three I heard were Kvaratskhelia, Jamal Musiala, and Vinícius. It's more than just interest. It's something that's been looked at for a long time. We spoke to Rock Nation. Is he willing to come? Who knows? But I doubt Arsenal would have let this news come out if there wasn't some inkling. I think Arsenal have a bigger chance than people are giving them credit for. I agree with that. I just still don't think we're getting him. Real Madrid aren't going to up their contract offer. And if it was a financial leverage, Arsenal are the last club you'd use. You'd use Manchester City, PSG, or even Bayern Munich. So it all depends what you want to read. So yeah, Sky Sports is saying the Spanish club have no intention of selling him, despite Arsenal's interest, and we're monitoring him with a year left. He'll be staying at Real Madrid beyond the summer. Further talks over his future between Real and his reps will take place this week. That is the intention of making progress on a new long-term contract at the Bernabeu. Jose Mourinho is understood to value Vinícius and wants him to remain one of his top Galacticos. Dharma Sheffer said, Real Madrid are in a bit of a sticky situation because Vini Jr. has got 1 more year left on his contract. In 6 months from now, he could sign a pre-contract agreement with anyone outside Spain. Then he could join any club for no money at all next summer. If you think about the valuation of the player, we think he's about 137 mil. That's a large amount of money to forego. However, they're confident he'll sign a new deal. I mean, 137, I think we can find some pennies together for that, people. The Diamande deal is unaffected. I don't think this has anything to do with Vinícius Jr. at all. I suppose they may have used it to put pressure on Vini. Diamande plays on both sides. There's a situation where Yan Diamande can play on the right. Vini signs his new contract and plays in his preferred position on the left, and Mbappe through the middle. We'll skip through the Diamande stuff and just focus on Arsenal. Arsenal will continue to keep an eye on Vinícius' situation still. He hasn't signed that new contract yet. As it stands, he has a year left on his contract. That's why they're exploring the conditions of a possible deal. How Berta does his business at Arsenal is very clear. It's not about one target and then the risk of that target not coming. They try to get their ducks in a row with 3 or 4 deals. To be fair, it just shows no strategy is foolproof because that's kind of shot us in the foot twice this window with Rodgers and Munger. Get as far down the line as they can with as many targets as possible, then decide which player they're going for. So like I said, logically, if we want a left winger and we're talking with 3-4 targets, we're not going to sign all of them. So this is what I mean about it's a dirty game, innit? One of those players is Bradley Barcola. He's imitated to PSG that he's not going to sign a new contract. That's primarily because in the biggest games last season, he was on the bench. He doesn't want to go through that again. It looks like he could be available for a transfer. Liverpool are interested as well. And we think PSG will initially value him at 145 million. It would have been a spectacular signing, but I'm not. Oh, sorry. I don't give a monkeys about Gary Neville. I don't want to read Gary Neville's part. But yeah, Real Madrid to hold further talks with Vini. Should we see what the Athletic said earlier today, people? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tap the bells for notifications. Clement, you're far too kind. Nobody is trusting Sky Sports nowadays. They were better before. Now they only report no news. He'll stay at Madrid many years to come. Don't know if he retires at Madrid. City fans think they're not cheats. But multiple Spanish reports are saying Vini demands and Real Madrid demands are very different, needs a lot of work. So there's a lot of thingies going on. We are still getting Vini. Are you an Arsenal fan or are you Man United? Because you got Cristiano Ronaldo. Arsenal fans think the moon is made of cheese. I behave yourself. Don't disrespect us. They might give us Mbappe instead because Vini actually won something. Are you sure? Impossible. If it's not Vini, it'll be Mbappe. Musiala stinks. He just dribbles into brick walls. Nah, if he stinks, some of our existing options don't. He'll earn more at Arsenal. He's going to get 100% of his image rights. He only gets 50% in Real Madrid, and Arsenal are going to pay him 400k. But I see him signing a new contract at Real Madrid. Same. But we'll have to see. Keep taking part. Yes, I want to generate some positivity. I'm all for being positive and being optimistic. Like, I should even go through my comments. There was one of those. Where is it? One sec, people. Let me actually find it because there was actually something and it's elite coping. I actually want to find it. Keep your thoughts coming. We're going to crack on, but I'm all for being optimistic. I'm all for being, I'm all for being optimistic. I'm not on being blindly optimistic, if I'm completely honest, and just copium for copium's sake. And in anyone's opinion, I very rarely even take in YouTube comments here, but I just feel like some people get so excited and so whatever that if you just have an alternative view, people want to start crying and, oh my God, where really the truth hurts to accept. Here it is. Like, here it is. And I just found this funny. Zoom in. And this is what I mean by man or emotional. Bro, it was a great ride being subscribed to your channel and hearing your news, but my neural deficiencies can't hold this level of negative anymore on your takes on these transfers. Bearing in mind, I haven't actually said we can't get Vini. It's just one, give me something to be optimistic about. As I said, you can't be dyslexic. David Ornstein, and I hope we sign him, but David Ornstein said Arsenal are interested. Then the article focused on contracts. It said there's no club-to-club talks and all of those things. So what are you getting excited about? It's just you're seeing YouTube highlights of Vini, you're seeing Vinícius Jr. getting excited. If they said Vini wants to leave, Arsenal want him, talks have begun, he's only picked Arsenal, then yes, there's a difference between being blindly optimistic and optimistic. Do I have a level of optimism? Not as high as you lot, yes. Blindly, I'm not a fool. I don't tell you what to think, just think. But nonetheless, and this is what I mean. If I was being negative and say Arsenal shit, then by all means I'm being negative. This don't make sense though. And this is gaslighting like, yeah. To be fair, I'm sure your wife knows you're a bit of a softer touch, but it was a great ride being subscribed to your channel and hearing your news. But my neuro deficiencies can't hold this level of negativity anymore on your take on these transfers. You're positive to some, you're negative to the other. I'm of the opinion that Kroenke and Andrea Berta has credit in the bank of landing players we need. Yes, and I have, to be fair, I backed up Berta. Ain't said nothing about Kroenke. Yes, they aren't going to jump out the window on fees. They don't believe matches the player's worth, like in the case of Morgan Rogers. But I don't believe for a second, they aren't doing everything they can to land Vini. Wherever I said we're not doing anything we can, especially with his contract situation where he's still refusing to sign it months later. It's actually been a year. As a fan, it's about enjoying the ride and enjoying it as it stands. And what's wrong with a bit of hope? Didn't say there's nothing wrong with a bit of hope. Not enjoying rides for the sake of enjoying rides. And in fact, there's contexts where that applies. Transfer market is not one of those. Because again, what's being reported in the real world and what we're seeing in tabloids, 9 times out of 10, it's like chalk and cheese. So yeah, we are going into a season hoping we win the title, but we can't hope on transfers. But we've got evidence that we can win a title. We haven't really got evidence of landing these kind of guys on a consistent basis. It's not like we're a pub team that can't afford him or is out the realms of security services, but alas, this is how some of us are. Take care, brother. And I'm not going to read my reply in it. Big up ChatGPT, but yeah, there's nothing negative. I thought, let me actually give time, but fair play, man. If you want to be a little girl, be a little girl, mate. But yeah, big up Tommy. Gone over that. So that leads us to go back to the Athletic people, their deal sheet that came out earlier. We're just purely going to focus on Arsenal, anything we see around Vinícius Jr. Big up Yan Diamande. That ain't got nothing to do with us, people. PSG have put a valuation of 170 million euros on Bukola. They're citing the fees of Rodgers and obviously Elliot Anderson, respectively, to Chelsea and City. So there you have that. The same source expects competition from Premier League clubs for Bukola, with Liverpool having made him a top target. Arsenal have also shown interest, but are prioritizing a possible move for Vini Jr. of Real Madrid. So even if you were Bukola and you could get him, but what are you being told? Rodgers was a target ahead of you. Vinny's a target ahead of you. So if the Vini thing is cold water and you go for Bukola, Bukola still could sign for Arsenal. But what's he going to say? Liverpool wanted me. Because we also have Vini. Liverpool don't want to get involved in the Vini stuff. Liverpool wanted me. I'm your second, third choice. Safe. Forget about it. So yeah, possible move for Vini of Real Madrid. PSG sources have also put out that their head coach, Luis Enrique, only wants committed players. Therefore, if the club do not secure the desired fee, Bukola may not feature for them next season. Boy, Real Madrid are working on getting Rodri. Again, John Stones looks like he's going to Inter Milan, by the way. He was a player linked with us. I'm purely just trying to find Arsenal. There we go. Arsenal been searching for a player who can add a new dimension to the left side of their attack and are now exploring an ambitious deal to sign Vinícius Jr. The 26-year-old Brazilian, as we know, has entered in the last 12 months of his deal. Real Madrid would be concerned about the prospect of losing such a valuable player for free in a year's time, especially as he would be due a significant loyalty bonus next season. Therein lies the opportunity for Arsenal. If Real Madrid and Vini cannot agree terms, the North Londoners believe they're well positioned to capitalize. I like that, but what does that tell you? Because like I said, remember, blind optimism, so I'm optimistic. Again, like with Julian Alvarez, if somehow you don't go Barcelona and you're enticed on leaving Atletico Madrid, I think we can pitch you something. The same goes for Vini. But that literally says there, Arsenal believe they're well positioned to capitalize on this contract stuff. So that tells you this is a different, but a market opportunity. This is very different from we're going after and we're bidding. So this is what I mean. It's not being negative or positive. You can only be as positive or as negative as you're informed. I'm sorry, but people need to read. But yeah, the idea of pursuing the 54-time Brazil international has been approved at all levels of the club. So that would be where my optimism comes from. All levels have approved it. Arsenal recognize it'd be very difficult for them to pull this signing off, but are positioning to go for it. So position for go for it, but also it might not be as a hype job and fanfare as Vinícius, but whoever the backup or the other target or the more realistic target is, go and get it done. This is what I mean. You can go after Vinícius, Morgan Rogers, this one, that one. When we land them, great. We don't land them, I feel sorry for myself. Sad. My thing is, make sure the 31st of August, 1st of September, whenever that deadline comes, and you've got that left winger, you've got that centre mid, you've got that defender. If you really want a striker, you got that, because regardless, we need to fight for this title. But I want to feel that we've improved, like you lot, people. So yeah, big up Zolis. We know we brought him in. We know pre-season preparations are underway. We know we brought out a statement in relation to Saliba. On the defensive search, Andrea Berta has been looking at expanding their options at the back for some time. In January, Arsenal expressed interest in a summer move for Gurhi before he obviously went to City. Konza and free agent Stones have been discussed, although Stones now seems set to join Inter. We have previously heard Como's Jacobo Ramon has been linked with us. Arsenal have closely followed the 21-year-old's defender's progress in Serie A. A significant complication is that Real Madrid still own 50% of Ramon's economic rights. Madrid also inserted a buyback clause for the player, who has also drawn interest from Chelsea. Hamburg and Arsenal remain in contact regarding Fabio Vieira. The midfielder is eager to return to the German side, where he spent last season on loan, but there's still no final agreement between the clubs over a permanent transfer. Gabriel Jesus, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira all got a year left on their deals, and it's finally time to move them on, people. Vini Jr. to stay at Santiago Bernabeu beyond this summer despite Arsenal interest. So again, Sky Sports are just bringing out their articles saying the same things. Liverpool are set to open talks with PSG over Bradley Barcola. An opening offer is being, prepared. They see him as a replacement for Salah. Wants to leave Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea target their man's transfer. Leo striker Mateus Fernandez Pardo, he's quite decent. I don't know for being a level raiser, has demanded a summer transfer amid interest from top clubs around the Premier League and in Europe. Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Liverpool, and saving the best till last, Arsenal have all been linked with the 21-year-old who played a significant role for Leo in securing and allowing them to get Champions League football. Spanish-born Belgium star, people. The player is under contract until 2029, and his departure is not an issue. We are counting on him. He knows that, and we have been very clear with him. He's never had a release clause. Every player I told could have left has left. It's the same old story as last summer with yet another new agent, boy. So yeah, I think if surely, unless there's a proper market opportunity, if we're bringing in another striker, like it's got to be an A-lister, if that makes sense. Let's continue seeing what's being said in the tabloids. ESPN Brazil are saying, speaking to someone involved in Bruno Guimaraes' situation, Arsenal are close to signing a centre-back. They haven't given me a name yet, but it's a deal that will happen even faster than the Guimaraes transfer. It's really imminent. Until I see it on the website, I don't know. Guimaraes has become a question of honour for Arsenal. Their latest offer is 70 million plus 5 million, which remains below Newcastle's expectation. However, people involved in negotiations believe an agreement between both clubs is likely at this stage. Come on, let's get it done, man. Let's get it done. Arsenal recognise signing Vini will be very difficult for them to pull off, but they are well positioned to capitalise if Real Madrid and the player cannot agree terms on a new contract. So capitalising, language is important. We all need to learn to read. Where's National Book there? I'm getting everyone a book. And Sky Germany is saying Arsenal are preparing an opening official offer for Vinícius Jr. and have informed the players' camp of their intention. Real Madrid are aware of Arsenal's interest and have sent a counter offer to Vinícius to extend his contract and hope to reach an agreement. So is his agent playing both parties? Gassing Arsenal, yeah, we want to leave. Trust me, he wants to leave. It's just this and that. Going to Real Madrid, listen, we wanted to stay, but Arsenal are saying this and that. We'll just never know. There's game playing with everyone in this. So we'll have to see. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. TalkSport is saying, Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal, I think will happen. I know the stance coming out of Newcastle is he's not for sale, but I think money ultimately will talk with that one. If they get a bid anywhere near or above 80 million, that is, then I'd expect that one to go through. Team News and Tix said, Saka is one of the most serious players in terms of recovery. I know Arsenal have banned him from training ground multiple times. It's open 24/7 for the players. It's always staffed. There's been times they told Saka to have rest and he's just turned up. But yeah, love the mentality. What else have we got? I've never really felt Ranieri would leave Arsenal. At most, I think Arsenal would loan him. Of course, if someone comes in with stupid money, the club would probably let him go. But I think the stupid market for Ranieri is gone. Turn him into your Morgan Rogers. Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Martinelli will both return to Arsenal training ahead of their first pre-season match against Girona on Saturday before joining up with the squad later this week, folks. What else have we got? Arsenal are open to selling Martinelli. It's just about offers. My personal opinion, I'd keep an eye on Roma. Saudi Arabia will probably be there again. They had interest a couple of years ago, but he had no interest. I don't know if that's changed. And congratulations to Martinelli. He's also got married. He's also said, if you had asked me in February, I'd have been pretty certain Martin Odegaard would probably be sold this summer. If Bayern Munich came in with a silly offer, it would definitely be looked at, but it's much more likely he stays away from that. What else have we got? We've heard all summer that Arsenal have specific budgets for each position and they're not willing to go over it. It's nonsense. They have budgets, but it's never strict. The overall budget might be, but it's never player specific. Arsenal and Guimaraes' camp thought there was an agreement to leave last year. Guimaraes had an agreement to leave if Newcastle didn't get to the Champions League for around 60 to 65 million. That never came into play. You see what I mean? I wish everything was gentlemanly and gentlewomanly, but this is what I mean. In business, if you haven't got it in cold-hearted right, eyes dotted, T's crossed, This agreement thing's dead. As much as you should honor your word, things can change. If you ain't got it in cold-hearted writing, it's absolutely dead. Fast forward 12 months, Gamara's camp thought the agreement still stood. Arsenal went through intermediaries to explore the possibility of that. From that point, Gamara's has completely had his head turned and wants to be at Arsenal. Arsenal went up to 70 million the other day. It does, and it seems it has been swiftly rejected. I'm always certain that it was a nod to Gamara's camp. We're going above the numbers you told us we want you. There's got to be some give and take here. Because of him wanting to leave, I think it will happen, and I think Arsenal will slightly overpay. Originally, Arsenal were looking at around the 60 million mark. Now it's looking between 75 to 85 with add-ons. It stretches much further. I'm not sure Arsenal will go there. I think, you know what? I would actually say fair enough, because I think ideally, in an ideal world, if the market was fair, quote unquote, I think 60 million for a 28-year-old with 2 years left on his deal, especially with Newcastle's project at the moment, is more than fair. If I'm Newcastle, I actually rate them doing the hardball thing. I rate Aston Villa getting 170 mil. If the shoe was on the other foot, I want that. Now, with what the market has become and what we see and how mad it is, for me, I think that's fair. I've been telling you, look, 75 would be my hard line. Like, if it goes beyond, okay, the market's not fair, 75 million, I'm trying to get it done. Admittedly, 85 million, I'll kiss my teeth and get it done. If it goes beyond 85 million or like the 75 to 85 million range, then fair enough, Arsenal. Let's walk away in it. I'd say, you know what, fair enough. Like, I'll be vexed about this signing, that signing. I'd leave you lot alone where Gamars is concerned. Don't be surprised if Saka and Declan Rice are maybe not involved in the first game of the season, but I'd be surprised if they're out too much longer than that. Anyone having Silvinho? Silvinho has already indicated to Manchester City that he wants to join Spurs. Also wanted to move last summer. A leading target, but depending on City board changing their stance, City could also look to add another attacker. Talks have been ongoing between the clubs since the early part of the summer. Anyone taking a punt on Silvinho? No? Just trying to drive up conversation with my community. We've gone over that as well. Tab police, I'm getting better, no? I'm getting better at it. Anyone having Rafael? Milan want 50 million euros for Rafael 27. They're rigid and fixed on this request. I don't know. Alvarez is increasingly likely to remain at Atletico Madrid as Barcelona's 100 million euro offer approaches its end of July deadline. Atletico continue to refuse any sale, while the strikers camp are now advising him to apologize and rejoin the team rather than force an exit that could expose both him and Barca to FIFA sanctions. What do you make of that, folks? What have we got here? Chelsea would demand a huge fee to sell Pedro Neto, with Manchester City, Liverpool, and Saudi clubs all circling. Signed for 60 million euros and contracted until 2031. Chelsea won't entertain anything less than a premium offer. Anyone want to? Because there was a time, admit it, we all wanted Pedro Neto at Wolves. I'm not sure on the credibility of this individual, no disrespect, but allegedly, Arsenal have open talks with Sporting for Ivan Fresneda. Berta leading the pursuit of the 21-year-old who's open to joining and has spoken to Arteta. Fee would be on the lower side of things in comparison to Konza. Aston Villa, as you know, wants 60 million. Some sources in Portugal told me, as in him, this deal could be on the verge of completion in the next few days, while others have a stance that only opening talks have taken place. More to follow on the story. So, yeah, what do we make of that, folks? I'm excited with Bruno Gomes, isn't it? Anyone taking a punt on Danny Welbeck? Could we hijack that? Would anyone go for Ferran Torres, who's linked with signing new deal at PSG? At Barcelona. Then he's going PSG. Then he's being linked with a swap deal or a sweetener in any move from Barcelona to get Julian Alvarez. I'm not sure, people. So, yeah, where are we standing on that? I just thought, let me get that out the way so that we could carry on our conversation. So, yeah, where are we at with that, folks, guys and girls? What are we saying and spraying? Can we get to 100 likes, people? We are at 81. We're doing all right. To the 81 of you, big up yourselves. Big up the Twitch gang as well. Make sure you subscribe with Amazon Prime. If you voted yes, hit the like button. If you voted no, hit the like button. Big up yourself, Rob. What else have we got? If Ornstein doesn't shoot down Vinny, the dream is still alive. Listen, you lot dream for me, man. Arsenal fan, Cristiano, the GOAT. The GOAT. I do think people disrespect Ronaldo. I've heard man say he's not top 10 and that. And fair enough, if you're in your 70s and 80s and you've seen Bear Man, great, but the GOAT's messy, man. What if we still go for Rodrigo if Vinny signs a new contract? I know he's injured, but he'd be the odd man out once they sign the other player. There's logic behind it, but are Arsenal going to put the P's? Would you put the P's down for Rodrigo? Or would you say, obviously we're not going to get him in jam, but would you not part that off for next summer? Because surely you want to see how he looks after this injury. Because it's big money. It's big money. It's not Vinícius money, but it's still in that kind of bracket. We've done the impossible before. Why is this even a discussion? We have, man. Who remembers is that? We got Rainmaker. Right. I think in 1 week we're gonna know if he signs a new deal. I want to sign him. I don't want to be there. I want you lot to be right. I don't want to be right. Give Vinny more image rights, and it stops being an exception only for Mbappe. It becomes the rule for every superstar. That's the door Florentino won't open. Fair play. Yeah, man said the bro. A1 gaslighting with those comments we read. As long as there's a chance, it's always good to be positive. Be positive. I'm just like, be positive. Just don't be blindly positive. That's the thing. Be positive. If you're saying, I believe we can get him, we could do this, we could do that, but you recognize that the spanners in the works that could make this deal not happen, that's cool. All this blind optimism thing, that's never gonna be me in life, and it ain't gonna be me in football. When there's a time to be blindly optimistic, or when there's a time to be optimistic, you don't never really hear me say we're gonna come out and win the league. What did I say from August? What did I say when I went frontline on TalkSport and any YouTuber that we collab with? I can only be as optimistic or negative as I feel. And I won't apologize for that. DG, please don't connect my light-hearted positive comment with blind optimism. Rob, we know you're good, man. Or connecting with that guy's comment. I didn't mean it that way, and I don't agree with that one's comment. Nah, man, Rob, you're part of the family. You're good, man. Yeah, bro, man, are being little girls, bro. I thought Tomiyasu was at Ajax. He was there for a sec. You know what? They've actually got rid of Tomiyasu and Zinchenko. Didn't they both rock up there in January? They're gone now. It's crazy how football works, man. What's the club giving us to be positive about this window? Man, are smiling through the pain. It's called cope, not positivity. We've been getting our pants pulled down all summer. Let's not do another Rodgers. Arsenal can offer Vini a better contract overall. What we can't give him is history like Real Madrid can. Whether he signs or not comes down to how Arteta and Berta sell him to Arsenal. If we get to that point, because if you get to the point of selling, we don't know. Maybe I'm on joining up. Maybe he's saying, Arsenal, you're chasing me for no reason. I'm staying at Madrid. Maybe he's genuinely in two minds. Maybe there's all different kind of possibilities. I don't think we'll have an issue to sell the project to him. I don't think we have an issue to get the finances. Just for me, I think you're going to sign that new deal. And I think you either need to come out and not come out. I say the word subjectively, but you need to come out and say, I'm not signing this. Or Real Madrid have to have that hardline approach. For example, August the 1st, you ain't signing a deal. That's it now. You've had the offer on there for a year. We've done as well as we can. It is what it is, sort of thing. And I get it from Vinícius. You want to see who's going to be the king of the project. You're 26. You want to get most marketing value. Fair enough. Obviously, Mbappe, you might not get Mbappe wages, but you want to be looked after and all of those things. And also on top of that, time waits for no one. But you basically grew up at Real Madrid. You joined them at 18. You're 26. Real Madrid's all you've known. You might want a new project. You might want to retire there, even though retiring at Real Madrid, very few players do that. I like Zolis, man. We've been saying we're getting Vinny and he's not interested. Come on, let's go get Rashford. Nah, I'm not on that one there. His image rights are high because he plays for Madrid. Rashford is permanently banned from the premises of the Emirates. Any failed compliance will result in consequences. Ref, appreciate you. Arsenal struggling in the market big time. I'm starting to worry about that. I wouldn't even say we're struggling. I would say I'm very frustrated, but I wouldn't say we're struggling because this ain't me saying we're going to pull a blinder, but whether I agree with what they've did or not, they're taking long with Rodgers and it's opened up the door and this Vinny stuff and all of this. I think there's a method to the madness, in it. What that method is, only Berta and Arteta can tell me. So I don't think it's crash out season yet, but I understand the frustration. Naturally, I'm frustrated because pre-season's here. You want to see big up Zolis and whatnot, but you want to see new signings. We would have loved to have been one of them clubs that moved for players before the World Cup. Obviously, we all can understand during the World Cup is techie. Other people were getting deals done during the World Cup. After the World Cup, we're led to believe the Rodgers team was moving in the right direction. David Ornstein come out. I was in a pub. I told you like this. You can see the YouTube short. He's going Chelsea. I understand not matching 117 million. My thing is it shouldn't have got to that point because these same journalists say May, June, we was told 80 to 100 million. If we got to move on, who knows? Who knows? But this is all make-believe now, isn't it? We can only deal with what if. Rumours is that the centre-back is Antonio Silva. He's good in Football Manager. Ain't he gone Bournemouth? He's good in Football Manager, but shout out to the best gunner in Great Britain, the deluded Kuna. I think you mean love from Kenya. Big up the Kenyans. I can't claim that, but if I don't know, being put in them realms, I'm doing something all right. The day DG has no tabs will be a sad, sad day. It will be. Now, I'm getting better, though. We are getting much better. We're getting much better. We're able to see shit. And to be fair, we've used all of them. We're right if they go anywhere near Neto. Like, felt as a winger. DG knew in his heart of heart he wasn't getting Vinny. Nah, DG, live up to your name and be deluded. But when there's something to be deluded about, I was deluded in my belief we're going to win the league. I'm deluded in my belief that only Rodri can talk to Declan Rice. I'm deluded in my belief, regardless of what anyone is saying about Bukayo Saka, he's still a fucking bad boy. I'm deluded in my belief that Miles Lewis-Skelly's cold. We shouldn't give up on Ethan. Max Dalman's the next in charge. You can't talk to Saliba or Gabriel individually, let alone collectively. David Raya is one of the best in the league / the world. I rate Timber and White. There's bare things I'm deluded about with the fucking biggest club in my mind. I don't care who's got Champions Leagues and whatnot. This is the club I'll die for. This means everything to me. So the shit I'm deluded about. Not this. I'm deluded in my thought, and you don't leave me alone now about it. Some of you criticize me for drawing out Arteta, but I genuinely think Arteta is a genius. And that's why I've been on you winning the league, because God forbid it went how we don't want it to go. I think you would have reached the end of your tenure in that you're going to go be a big dog in this manager thing. We will win the league, but we might need to divorce to reach that. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. So there's mad things. I like Berta. I wish I had Berta's number so I could actually just know what happened with Rodgers. What's going on with Vinny? Where's the rise up the players? Because then you might have a new perspective. So there's shit I'm deluded about. Apologies for swearing. This ain't going to be one of them, because I don't believe it in my heart like that. What I genuinely think with Vinny is we're positioned to strike. It's like, how can I explain it? You see when the opposition have the ball, like the goalie, and you see Odegaard, Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, whoever, you see the way we set up to press and press triggers. That's how I think we're set up to this Vinny thing. And what that means by if the opposition have the ball, if that was Vinny's contract, if that's fumbled, we're ready to press it. We're setting up to, Vinny, you're not signing that deal. And this is what we said going into the market. Life is a contradiction, and so is the market, because you have to be proactive and also you have to be reactive. Obviously, if you're too reactive in the market, you could get shagged. If you're too proactive and you go and get certain players, you might look back and say, as the market goes on, players that were available don't become available. Players that weren't available become available. You might have shopped too early. It's a contradiction. Some players you want to sell, you can't sell until you bring in certain players. Some people you're going to get rid of, but they might not want to leave for a variety of reasons. It's all mad. And we need to bear that in mind. By all means, criticize the club and the sporting directors. But remember, the shit ain't easy, man. DG, does the exit of Chief Commercial Officer Julian Slot mean anything telling? Well, she was helping us, get groundbreaking deals and commercial stuff. And obviously, we're not going to see the benefit of that. But you want your club to do as best as they can on the pitch and off the pitch. So big boots to fill. If we don't get A-lister this summer, I don't want another left winger, rather improve or cover holes in the squad due to injuries. If you can scout me a left winger that becomes that, I'm just saying random names, but there is even if we go sign Vini, there has to now be grabbing a Bacola in Turkey when they're at Lyon, getting Salah when he's in Italy, grabbing Mane when he's at Southampton, getting Krupi when he's at Lorient, getting the Vinícius and the Rodrigos when they're in Brazil and they've played 2 minutes at 18 years of age, in which maybe not to the same level, but we are trying to find them youths of tomorrow. Getting Adam Wharton when he's at Blackburn. I'm just saying random names so you get the picture. There is an element of man need to do that stuff. I'm not saying he's to the same caliber, but that's why personally I don't mind the Zolis thing. But it's a double-edged sword, because we have won the league. We have got to the Champions League final. We have just won the league. For the last couple of years, fair enough, we ain't won the Champions League, but big games in Europe, big games against the bigger clubs in the Prem, we're not getting embarrassed. Collectively, we're one of the best teams in the world right now. That's a fact. Let's be honest. Now, I do want some individuals that take it to the next level. Because I remember beyond the obvious reasons as to why we didn't win that Champions League final, there was two things. One, you need a bit of that stardust and that individual brilliance. Kvaratskhelia didn't have a great game. But a little bit of brilliance, mascara, wrong side penalty. We need that. And also, easier said than done, we need to arrive in the right moment, because we haven't arrived in the right moment in these couple of finals. Regardless, the players that were out there, you're clearly fit enough to do what needed to be done. But a part of me wishes you're arriving in these moments with Eze in top form. Obviously, Eze and Gyökeres, second half of the season, they're doing all right. But Eze, Gyökeres in top form. Saka's fully fit doing his business. Star players, you need a lot to go for you. Vinny better not cry about racism if he decides to stay. Can't what a stupid fucking thing to say. Come on. What is that? I always say on this platform, I don't tell you what to think, just think, You're not thinking. Go get Jesus on the left wing. But we're going to get Bruno right back and centre back. Let's hope for a left winger. Our backline looks like it's suffering. Constant injuries are going to derail this season. DG Arteta just did the first interview of the season. Where is it? Please, Sky Sports. Man said Sky Sports on Arsenal.com. What's going on here? We got super make it set. Arteta, they're doing me down, you know. They're not. Why is it not loaded? Hey, zooming. Your gaffer ain't sourcing like this. I don't know what to make of these. Granted, they look a bit better. I don't know what to make of the training kit. I think the training kits from last year were better than this year's. Let me look, let me know your thoughts, people. What's Arteta said? First of all, I saw the energy in the bodies in their eyes, how they look, and the players. It was incredible. The shape that they have all come back better than ever. That tells you the direction that we want to seek and the culture that we have to set. Then the way they're training, the questions that they ask you, the direction that they want to take, they're all super powerful signs. It's great to see everybody again with the same spirit after such a big season, to see everyone coming back in the building with such energy and desire to go again. Big up Rob for making sure we covered this, you know. Or the beat, 100%. This has to be the start and this has to be the standard. Excellence has to be our standard, and this has to drive to attack the future. The way we behave daily with more and more determination and ambition, because we've shown that we've got it. Now we have to show that we belong to this level and we want to increase and take this football club to a different dimension. It's all programmed. We have 3 different pre-seasons with different groups. But the most important thing is not the program, it's the attitude behind the program. When I speak to Kai, he's desperate to come back tomorrow. And Victor the same, and Piero the same. When I speak to Declan, he's already talking, okay, if I come this day, then I can play then, and the rest the same. That is much more powerful than the program. We want to adapt to the context, which is different. There are a lot of opportunities within them because most of them have great experiences throughout the tournament and have really positive performances this past season as well. A lot is happening. We know about the context of this transfer window, from the ownership to the board, the sporting director, and myself. We know that we want to take this club to a different level. That's going to require a better squad, better individuals. We have identified where we have opportunities to grow and to improve and to evolve our game. And that is what's going to be needed to achieve that. Hopefully, very soon, we can start putting things in a very concrete way. Connection is the word. It's the connection and the fact that everybody feels that they're contributing to increasing the winning probability. I was just having an interview with the guys that designed and delivered the TIFO for the North London Derby. I mean, that TIFO helped us win. Whoever's designing and taking the pictures and building it has to feel that way because it does have an impact. My body language and my energy in the stadium and the way I communicate with the person next to me has an impact. We have seen the impact of 1.5 million people together. So that's the biggest superpower that we have with this football club. It's how we attach, how we feel to it, the identity that we have created and how we feel about each other. And it has to be translated at every opportunity that we have to be together. My ambition is that daily we nail the standards and the requirements on the day to be better the following day. That's the thing we have to control. And maintaining that ambition, that discipline, that commitment, and that positive energy through 11 months. That is the responsibility we all have. If we achieve all of that, we're going to be in a really strong position in May. Again, come get your Prem back, Gaffer. Come get your Prem back, man. Come get your Prem back, man. Come get your Prem back, man. They don't, Arsenal can't attack. Everything good. The players. With a stinky attack. So what do you think is going to happen when our attackers stay fit? When Gyökeres full season, Eze full season, Zubamendi full season, Saka back to his best. I don't even know. It could be stars. It could be unknown players. But they're going to be level raisers. There's a next parade in May. You heard it here first. We're winning the Premier League and we're winning the FA Cup. So these are the things man's deluded about. Sick of us signing centre-backs, by the way. It's a fetish at this point. I can't cap. We need them. Well, we need one. I'm not going to lie. No, we want to hear attackers. I trust my gaffer to bring Billy to the Emirates. You know, you guys are the leading biggest club. That's absolute madness with no chance. Oh, my God. I'd said to me, bro. Like, to me. Do I think if I remove my emotions, Real Madrid and Man United are the biggest clubs in the world to me. Then you probably, well, give or take Liverpool as well. But I'm an Arsenal fan. I love Arsenal Football Club. Respectfully to them other clubs. If those other clubs cease to exist, that doesn't mean anything. At its core level, we are all football fans at whatever club because we chose to identify with stuff. Some of us were born in it. Some of us were sworn in it. Some of you, you know, the first game or whatever you watched. Some of you followed your friends. Some of you were grown men. And I'm not criticizing none of this. Some of you were grown men and you got into football. That's what I mean. Don't give a fuck what anybody's got. This is the club I love. This is where my heart's at. Don't give a monkeys about who's got this and who's got that. This is my club and our club. And if you support, you use the same example, whatever team you support. I always say we're fans of the game first. I'm a fan of football at its purest level. But you see this is everything to me. It's like if I have a girlfriend, she's the prettiest girl in the world. I don't care about Shensia and this and that. Some of you lot's girls are ugly, but you're in love. Thank you for coming to my TED talk. The training kit does not suit the boss. I think last one's better, man. I think last year was better. The blue thing, it was lit. I hope Arteta moves on from her round ball. I can't watch it, but it's too much. But I'm not going to lie. I want to see us evolve. But I'm not going to lie. You see the end result thing when you win the league? I don't really care. So it means to an end still. Because the Tuesday was confirmed, that same Sunday at the parade. Obviously, two truths can be right. Which, I mean, if you follow my channel, I've alluded to all of that. But at any given of these days and moments, ain't no one was sitting there and saying, "Oh my God, the attack and we need to do it like this and it's not sustainable anymore." Bro, we won a prem. Now it needs to go up because if you want a prem, where individuals, it's your most individually. A lot of our attackers, it weren't your best season. Is your most memorable one because you won a league. So what do you think is we know it needs to improve tactically? There's so many things that need to improve, regardless of if you sign Vini and this and that. Same conversations I said with. Yes, we can be gassed about Gyökeres at the time. Eze at the time, it's not as white and black as us slapping those attackers. So Arteta does have to evolve that. We do need to bring players in. We do need players to stay fit. I actually need all my players to stand up even more. Because a lot of you, especially my attackers, a lot of you had moments, you know. We need greater consistency and so on and so forth. Appreciate you trapping me too. So yeah, that's what I would say. We're planning something big. Just watch. Look like people forgot we champions until the window closed. I don't want to hear nothing from these haters. Appreciate you. Funny thing is, after you used to find these gems, that was your thing. And I hear you and you're right, but my thing is just, I think you got to kind of find that value in the market, if I'm completely honest. It's not the same. Jamal Musiala is not the same. Jamal Musiala not signed a scholarship at Chelsea, gone by Munich. The rest is history, innit? Y'all setting yourselves up for heartbreak, but you won't even admit it because y'all will make excuses, not you, DG. In fact, David, no, David, I don't want to read this from you. You are horrible, mate. I see you in my comments in the videos, mate. You're a bit of a cunt, aren't you? So big up you. Smash the like button. But yeah, you see, I rate Eze, but I want to see more complete 90-minute performances from him this season. I'm actually bringing out a video on this as well. There's a lot of things we need to see. Like I said, my attackers had moments where you're really serious about the back-to-back league title thing. Thought it was all banter. Why would I be serious? Why wouldn't I be serious? If we don't win the league, but what has to be domestically in the Premier League, what is Arsenal's remit? It can't be anything less than retaining the Premier League. That has to be it. In the same way, last year it was at the fourth time lucky. It was the same case of trying to win a Premier League title. That has to be it. And as I said, this will come from a place of love. As I've said, big up my players because it weren't the prettiest. Man, they were injured. There were little stumbles. April, I thought it was dark. Everybody stood up to be counted. The gaffer, the players, you got over the line. You got your moment. I didn't want it to be what it was in the last previous years. So you obviously did what you needed to do there. And you got to a Champions League final and a League Cup final. Yes, I'm not happy to just get there. I want to win that. In Champions League, I don't dream anymore. My 31 years, seeing us take the lead twice. It's not our thing. Let's just, when we win it, if we win it, when we win it, innit? I'll only believe when I see that. And this is all from a place of love. As a 31-year-old man, this is all from a place of love. This ain't me drawing them out. This is for me who wants the best for my football club. This is kind of piggybacking off what Arteta is saying here. And I mean this from a place of love. As a 31-year-old man, none of you as a bunch of players have did anything I haven't seen before. And this is me trying to whet your appetite. I've seen us win a Premier League title. No, not the one we just won. We're the reigning champions. Smash the like button. I've seen us win a title. I've seen us get to a Champions League. I haven't seen us win a Champions League title or anything in Europe of note, really. You know, last time we won something, well, haven't seen us win in Europe. I think we won that the year off. Well, I was 1 year old. Can't cap around that. League Cup, won it a year before I was born. So I ain't seen that, but major honours. I've seen us get to a Champions League final. That's nothing new. So can you win me something in Europe? I've never seen us retain a Premier League title. And that's, in my 31 years, it's like we build towards success. We get success. For want of a better phrase, it feels like we rest on our laurels a bit and whatnot, which I don't get that granted from Berta. Well, I can't really say Berta, I don't know you. I don't really get that from Berta. I definitely don't get that from Arteta. By all means, you can criticize how Arteta goes about things and whatnot, but I think his heart and his conviction and all these things are in the right place, innit? And I'm happy he's won a title because nobody comes above the club. Clearly, I'm a fan of Arteta. But if you look like you need to cut one time, then you're going to cut. But I did think you needed this. The club needed it, but away from that, you needed this because I didn't have a leg to stand on. Because even me, I did think, you see the tactics, all these kind of things, you're great at it. But everything has been designed and geared towards winning, but winning. So I'm happy that we done that. And I don't think my players will rest on their laurels. And if they are, We have to go into the season with the ambition. Nobody's done nothing because nobody has. Nobody's done nothing. 2026, 27, do I see us? Does it have our name? Obviously, the season about to start. It doesn't have our name etched on anything. So it don't matter what we did last season. If you want to reminisce on last season, granted, you could do that on your day off. You can go watch stuff on YouTube. Same hunger, if not more. It's one thing getting there. It's the next thing retaining. Stamina and motivation, as Arsene Wenger used to say. Poll is essentially 50-50, says everything. The away kit, I do like it as well, Rob. I can't lie, I forgot about the poll. Will Arsenal sign Vini? 51% of you said yes. 49% of you said no. I want the people who said, the 51% that said yes, I want them to be the ones right. I don't think we're going to sign them. I want you lot to be right for natural reasons. We won the first cup, bro. That was in Europe. I hear that, but come on, man. Not these dibby things, bro. Come, I hear you. And when the pagans are here and they're saying Arsenal champions of Europe, I will utilize that and say, yeah, we have got European silverware. Our women, and I'll even, you see me on talk say, but my women have won Champions League. This is from a place of love. This is a safe house. Come, man. We need the serious things now, man. They're champs. Like, we've had some great nights out in Europe. Like, we're too big of a club not to have more Premier Leagues in the bank. Let's chase that surplus and not to have one. I seen Chelsea do it on some jammy thing. I seen United win it on 2 jammy things. And you need that element of jamminess. Liverpool jammy when they came back from 3 goals down. It's all fairy tale stuff. Our thing, we're going to have to be perfect. Like, I don't think we're going to get John Terry missing a penalty, Kai Havertz bagging a goal, Chelsea. And it was, you know what? Actually, as much as I don't want to praise Chelsea and not praising them, when I remove my bias, I actually think that was one of the greatest Champions League wins I've seen because they went to, there was a lot going on that season with Chelsea. They went into Bayern Munich's backyard, you know, and every Drogba stood up to be counted, Czech stood up to be counted. I want them stories, but I feel we have to be perfect. We're not going to get that. We need to be perfect. We need to. Europe is filled with more pain in my 31 years. The worst, like we've had some great night. We've definitely got our asses handed to us during the Emirates era, but we've massively underachieved in Europe. Early 2000s, up until this point now, we've only been to 2 finals. Rhetoric says 3rd time lucky. It's filled with more pain, bro. Like, 06 was a magical run. 13 or so minutes away from winning that thing. 2026, 20 years removed. Take it. Kai Havertz has scored early. We're defending well. When you get beyond the, PSG, it's looking even. You saw how it ended. I don't need to remind you lot about the Europa League final, probably the most. There's a couple moments in my life supporting this club where I've been ashamed of stuff. I think the Europa League final, the whole Granit Xhaka stuff, because it was a sad day, man. It was a sad day, you know, when he told the fans to fuck off. There's a couple of moments still. There's a couple of moments. You got to do the backing thing, man. Appreciate you, Alexander. Baku and Barcelona final were the biggest heartbreaks in Europe. VAR, we might win Paris, innit? I'm confident we retain the title. Only City worries me in the race. Don't sleep on Liverpool. These Man United and Chelsea fans hyping up now just to turn into City fans between November and January. These man don't learn. Big up to everyone who's hit the likes, people. Jammy things, but we have the trophies in the cabinet, which I respect. That's my point. We're gonna have to be perfect. We're not gonna get that. Someone done something to Arsenal. We don't get that in Europe. Our thing, we have to be better than everyone. We have to defend better. Yeah, we have to do all of that. And then I've seen in my life, I've come into this with Liverpool winning that, innit? I've seen United win a couple of Champions Leagues. I've seen Chelsea get 2. I know it's not the same, but it's like Bayern Munich, of course. It's seeing City do it. Seeing PSG do it. Oh, come on, man. If life was fair, we would have had a couple more before them, and we know it's not the same, but here I'm going. I think PSG are doing the 3P next year anyways, but of course, as an Arsenal fan, I want to, be wrong, but yeah, man, this is why I like this platform. Somehow there's been what I'm actually deluded about. My Arsenal fan cap's been bleeding. I've turned into a fast passion merchant. We focused on Vini and all the other transfer news. Saturday, we're back in action though, so it's watch along business, people. I think we kick off at 7 p.m. UK time, so join me at 6 p.m. Yeah, man, I'm sure you lot got better things today to do. So appreciative to you lot watching it on the replay. Those of you that have been silently viewing, everybody who smashed their like button, everyone who's participated and supported the thing in some way, shape, and form, man. I hope you and your loved ones stay healthy and safe. And yeah, man, you lot, we're going to link up again, but it's always difficult to say goodbye, but it's been a fantastic hour and 10 minutes. On that note, see what I'm talking about, players with X Factor. It comes from experience. I don't ask anything more of people that I don't answer myself. Smash them. Big up.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.